A British doctor killed 250 of his patients over 18 years by injecting them with large amounts of narcotics that led to their deaths. The crime that shocked Britain, with some aspects still being investigated today. Harold Shipman, the murderous doctor, is a case of a doctor who heals others but is himself sick. A doctor is supposed to help treat people and alleviate their pain, not be the cause of their deaths and the taking of their lives. This, however, is exactly what Harold Frederick Shipman, an English doctor, did. He took the lives of 250 of his patients over the 18 years he practiced medicine, breaking the record for serial killers in Britain and even the world in terms of the number of victims. Unlike most serial killers who mutilate and desecrate the bodies of their victims, Shipman simply injected them with a lethal medical drug that caused them to die slowly and without spilling a drop of blood. Nevertheless, he remains one of the most infamous criminals the world has known. Regardless of the method, death is still death. As the saying goes, there are many causes of death, but the end result is the same. Shipman was born in Nottingham, England. His mother died of lung cancer in 1963 when he was 17 years old. He entered Leeds University Medical School in 1965, where he met Primrose, who later became his wife in 1966, and with whom he had 4 children. He graduated from medical school in 1970 and began working at a clinic in a small town south of Leeds, where he started his killing spree, which lasted 18 years. In 1974, he worked as a general practitioner in Todmorden, west of York. In 1975, he was discovered forging prescriptions for pethidine for his own use and was sent to a drug rehabilitation clinic in York. After overcoming his addiction, he worked as a general practitioner at a hospital in Hyde near Manchester in 1977. He continued in this role throughout the 1980s until he opened his own clinic in 1993. In 1998, suspicions arose about Shipman due to the high mortality rate among his patients, especially elderly women. However, the police could not find any evidence to charge him with killing his patients. In the months leading up to his arrest, Shipman killed 3 more women. His last victim was a woman named Kathleen Grundy, a former mayor, who was found dead in her home on June 24, 1998. The last person to see her alive was Dr. Shipman, who also signed her death certificate. The most suspicious aspect about Shipman arose when Kathleen's daughter discovered that her mother had bequeathed £386,000 to Shipman in her will. This prompted her to contact the police, who initiated an intensive investigation. They exhumed and analyzed Kathleen's body, finding traces of diamorphine. Shipman was arrested on September 7, 1998. The authorities found a typewriter in his possession matching the one used to print the forged will of Kathleen. Following his arrest, the police began reviewing the files of Shipman's other patients throughout his medical career. They uncovered his method of killing, injecting his patients with a lethal dose of diamorphine, signing their death certificates, and falsifying medical records to portray his victims as severely ill. Shipman's trial began on October 5, 1999. He was charged with 15 counts of murder committed between 1995 and 1998, all of which he was convicted of in 2000. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, as the death penalty had been abolished in the UK. Shipman denied all the charges and never admitted to the crimes. As a result of his conviction, investigations into other cases were closed. Many believe his trial was unfair because the police suspect Shipman was responsible for the deaths of several hundred victims during his career. The motive behind Shipman's killings remains unknown. Some believe it was related to his mother's death from cancer in his youth, which left him with psychological issues. Others think Shipman was obsessed with experimenting on his patients with narcotic drugs, while some suggest he killed for financial gain, as £10,000 worth of jewelry was found in his garage, with some pieces identified as belonging to his victims. Various theories exist, but the true motive remains a mystery, especially since Shipman never confessed to the crimes. On the morning of January 13, 2004, Shipman was found hanged in his cell, having used his bed sheets. Thus, the exact number of Shipman's victims remains unknown. Medical records indicate 459 patient deaths under his care, and the police believe Shipman was responsible for at least 250 of these, most of whom were elderly women in good health.